All right. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get Google Docs out. Google Docs. What's up, Roser B VOC? hope I said your name right. How are you? What's up, Clean Routine Health? Good to see both you guys. Clean Routine. Clean Routine, what do you... I'm sorry, I don't know this off the top of my head. What is your name? It's not Danielle, is it? Let me know in the chat, guys, what you guys want to be. How do you want me to what names do you want me to call you guys, basically? Sorry. My mind's going a million different directions right now. Dana, that's what it is. All right. Dana, how are you today? Hopefully you're having a good day. So close, yeah. Today we're going to bring in Tiago, and Tiago is going to... Good. Today's going good. Busy day. Tomorrow and the rest of the weekend I will be going on vacation to see my grandmother for 4th of July. So today's going to be hopefully a productive stream where we're able to do some planning. What I wanted to do in today's live is to bring in Tiago. He'll be in here in just a second, and we're gonna walk through our brand direction. Basically, I'll have Tiago kind of frame this too, but I think it'll be a good call. We're gonna be we're gonna be basically going through this worksheet together, all about personal branding. Okay. Now, this doesn't come from us, our knowledge or expertise. This comes from Caleb Ralston. I'm sure you guys have heard of him. He's the absolute GOAT of personal branding. If you guys haven't, I'm happy to give you a quick introduction. But Tiago has listened to, basically, Caleb Ralston, personal branding expert. He released a 6-hour course and a 5-hour course all about personal branding. And Tiago, I don't know how he did it, but he sat through all of it and put it together in this doc here. And so we're going to go through this as a worksheet, and we're going to answer questions about what we want long-term for our personal brand. This is something, Tiago, is this something that we can give to the chat as well if they want to tag along, or is there any IP restrictions to this, since this is from Caleb's? I mean, he gave this out for free, so I don't know if is there anything that we need to be concerned about here?
No. I mean, I feel like we should just create like a standalone document, just because there's like a lot more going on in the doc, but it's fine.
Cool. And for anyone that's been in here, like Dana, or as we'll see in a little bit here, we'll probably have Stephanie, 1J, Alina, our regular folks will probably join. Please don't take these lives to be homework assignments every time you guys join. I just always offer to give the docs out because, you know, a lot of times people say, hey, can I see more of what you're working on? So feel free if you guys want to, if you want this doc, we'll send it over. Rosie, I'm just going to call you Rosie, or Rose, I guess. Rose in the chat says, give a quick intro. So there's this super smart guy, way smarter than us. Tiago and I are not, we would not consider ourselves experts by any means, but this guy is definitely an expert. His name's Caleb Ralston. He has worked with the biggest brands online in the business space. I'm sure everyone here has heard of Gary Vee, maybe Alex Hermosi. Those are the two big names that Caleb had his hand in helping grow their pages to multi-millions of followers. And he is a personal branding expert. I don't know if he considers himself that, but that's what he's well known for, is actual personal branding. And there's a difference between just growing a page for view, like growing your page with views and followers, versus having a personal brand. I don't know if have you guys ever seen an account where someone might have, here, actually, this might be a good example. Let me show this real quick, Tiago. This will be for Rose. If you guys have ever come across a creator who, this is one of my favorite creators to follow. If you guys want to follow her regarding social media, I would definitely recommend following Lauren Dudley. This is a creator who has a personal brand and not a following. What I mean by this is someone like Lauren Dudley, right? She doesn't have millions of followers. She has 60,000 followers, but her engagement and her audience super engaged in anything that she posts, right? She has a very loyal fan base of women who are constantly engaging in her videos, in her stories, in her offers, in her community, blah, 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 blah. She could post a video of her just going to the store, and people are going to engage with it because people have bought into Lauren. She is my absolute, for me, she's probably my favorite person who talks about content. So right now on Instagram, not even really because of what she says, but more so by what she does, in the sense of she has mastered a couple crafts, at least to me, in my opinion. She has mastered the craft of creating a narrative that people can, and maybe mastered a stretch, but she has certainly found much success in crafting a narrative that people can rally behind. And so, and of course, she does a really good job of also sharing her personality and her quirks. Is that how you say it? Quirks? In her content. And so it just makes her content's very entertaining to watch, as well as the people, like, it's very consistent. People are super engaged with it. This is someone who has more of a personal brand than a following. You know, it's very easy. Like, for me, what I've, the struggles that I've had is that I've been able to build a following multiple times in different niches. So especially in comedy, it was very easy. I was able to grow 2 pages in the comedy space. Both those in total were just over 100,000 followers, but that was a following. So every video, it kind of varied in terms of the engagement. I was kind of like chasing my next viral hit. I had not really established a core connection with my audience. Same thing in other niches that I've also made content in, where I was never able to really like crack certain narrative or, again, connection with the audience for people to actually trust me. They were able to engage with some of my videos, but a lot of my success in my following and viewership was dependent on the quality of each video that I posted versus someone like a Lauren Dudley or a Caleb Ralston, who I just said, who's the master of personal branding in our space. These guys can post whatever they want because they've cultivated an audience that trusts them at scale. And so, again, a little bit of a long-winded intro. Hopefully that makes sense, though, for you, Rose. 1J, thanks for joining. I was actually just talking about you just a second ago. Today we're going to do an exercise, thanks to Tiago. He has been so gracious enough to study 11 hours, obviously more than that. But he's sat through 11 hours of Caleb Ralston's most intense courses, and he's put together this document, a personal brand workbook, and we're going to try to work through some of this today. Tiago and I tried to do this as like a private meeting earlier today, and then I got pulled in a million different directions. And so I was like, hey, let's just do it on the live. I think the folks in the chat might find some value in this because there is a substantial difference between building a brand and a following. And so far in my content journeys throughout my accounts, I've always been able to build a following, but I've yet to build like a really strong, reputable brand. That's what I'm hoping to crack. Well, maybe not today, but with this account here. Okay. Hope that makes sense. Thanks for joining. Migros or Meg Rose, becoming with me grows. Can someone help me with how do you say her name? Becoming with Meg grows. Thanks for joining. Maj, thanks for joining. Rose, thanks for joining. 1J, thanks for joining. All right. Holy shit, he did the 6-hour course and the 5-hour sequel. Dang, Tiago's the GOAT. Yes, Tiago.
It was more like 8 hours or 7, but yeah, that was
Tiago's
that was
the
tough.
GOAT. Now, Tiago, how did you construct this? Did you look at any of Caleb's workbooks, or did you like throw this into Claude and make? Like, how did this come about here? Did you take manual notes? Yeah.
No, so I did a little bit of everything, and this also has Matt Gray's like courses as well, which are much shorter. It's like 30 minutes both combined. But now regarding Caleb, I realized that both of them are kind of the same. The only difference is that the first one, the 6-hour long, he talks a lot about team building and monetization. And on the 5-hour course, he focuses more on the personal branding side. So what I did was basically, because first I put everything into Claude and I created a workbook. There was a lot of repetition. So I just started a new one just with a 5-hour long one, and then I started making some manual adjustments to it.
Okay, cool. Valentina, thanks for joining. All right, with that context, guys, and for Valentina, we are going to do a personal branding exercise together live. So Tiago and I are going to work through this for my page. You guys can also take this workbook. I mean, I'll have to ask Big Boss Tiago if you can, but you guys can also do this exercise. I should preface that we have not coined any of this information. This is not our proprietary thoughts. This is from people much smarter than us that have basically given in their free content these types of exercises to work through. So we are simply just working through exercises from expert opinions online. That's what we're going to do today. And was there one other thing that I was going to say? I don't remember. Tiago, do you want me to record this for YouTube? Do you think this will make for a good YouTube video, or just leave it as a live?
Yeah, I feel like we should just leave it as a live.
Okay, that's cool. All right. Oh, one last thing I'll say. One last disclaimer, and we'll get right into it today. You guys, and I'll say this because a lot of the people in here are regulars. You guys should know this by now. But what we do in 99% of these lives is we all of our actions come from a student perspective. So if you are new to these lives, I am constantly studying what makes great content, what makes great branding, what makes great, I guess, followership, if you will. Right? I'm just trying to study what is working. And so if there are many people out there online that will tell you to just like post a ton, I don't think that advice is bad at all. I think that's totally valid advice. Like, just post a ton and see what works, and don't spend as much time studying. I think that is totally fine advice. I also think spending time studying from great content creators is something that I personally deem to be valuable. I know in like every other domain, when it comes to sports, art, etc., studying game tape or studying from great players is kind of a staple, right? To improve. That's how I operate with these lives. I do a lot of studying. I do a lot of research. I do a lot of desk work. So if that's not your cup of tea, giving this disclaimer before we get into it, because we're about to get into a lot of brainstorming right now. So a lot of research, a lot of brainstorming, blah, blah, blah. If you'd prefer to just like make a ton of content and learn that way, I think that's totally valuable. This live is probably not going to be more about that. So quick disclaimer. All right, Tiago, let's jump in.
All right. Are you sharing your screen on Google Meet so that I don't have...
My bad. Oh, wait.
No, yeah, I think you are. Just show the document. That's all I said.
Yeah, can you see it? And I guess you're gonna have to look at kind of a halfway view. Just this is optimized for YouTube and Instagram. So sorry if you're seeing just half the page, but yeah, if you can see
No,
this, let's dive in.
I can see the whole thing, but no, I think you're sharing the wrong tab. That's all.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay, oops, my bad. Technical difficulties. All right, here you go. Oh, actually, here. This might be better for you. Let me share my Chrome tab for you. How about now? Now you can see the whole thing.
Nice, nice. Yeah,
Cool.
that's great.
All right,
All right.
let's dive in. So take it away, Tiago. You tell us how to.
Yeah. So I made some changes since we talked like an hour ago, but first step 1.1 is mostly just it's more about the business side of your personal brand. Like, can you stop posting and still keep getting leads, right? So not applicable to us, but in the future we want to build this for everyone to be able to use it on their own. So we'll start with 1.2, which is the brand journey framework, right? This is from Caleb. These are the first main 4 questions that he asked before starting to work with anyone.
Okay.
So these are, I feel like, the hardest to answer, because a lot of people, when you see the, like, let's start with the first one. What is your desired outcome? Most people, desired outcome is to make more business, right? To scale their business.
Sure.
But of course, it has to be like more like mission driven, perhaps, like more about what is the end result aside from money that we want to achieve with this page. And I do have some idea but I don't want to bias your input. So
do you want me to go first and then you go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, you let me know if these ideas. What's up, Elijah? Thanks for joining. We are doing, for anyone that's in here, Naeem, thanks for joining. Hopefully I said that right. We are doing a personal branding exercise. All this information on this document is not from us. This is from people much smarter than us, from their free content. Caleb Ralston, Matt Gray, these folks, maybe you've heard of them, maybe you haven't. They give away a lot of really good, valuable information. We're doing a personal branding exercise because there's a difference between building a brand and building a following. And that's what we're attempting to figure out for ourselves. Okay, now with that disclaimer out of the way, thanks for joining, Agent Foley, by the way. So what is our desired outcome? So Tiago, let me know if this thought process is in alignment with yours as well as for this exercise here. I know that we've talked about at length the reason why we created this page in to begin with, or at least starting down this mission, is because of multiple things, but it's probably a problem to have multiple reasons. One of them is that I'd like to have our desired outcome be tied to like a pain that I've experienced. We'll see, whatever, but the reason why we have made this page is that I have always struggled with figuring out which advice to follow and which advice to throw away, because all the advice that's given is from people that are at the top of the mountain. And it's very hard when people are saying to, like, you should do X, Y, and Z, and they're saying it 5 years removed from the advice they're saying. Like, I've always found the most value from someone who's in the trenches, actually doing the thing, actually growing. And so I wanted to be one, or with this page, the different light in the tunnel, if you will, or what, I don't know, however you describe it, but I wanted to be the person that stands out by saying, here's what I'm actually doing right now to grow my page. You can decide for yourself whether you should take that advice or leave it, but I think that this is a growing issue that's going to continue to be more of an issue as we go, is the amount of people who are so-called experts telling people these directives on, you should do this, you should do this, you should do this. And now we're seeing all of these people. Naeem says, same, I'm so confused. Exactly. That was why I started this page, is because right now we're seeing advice. So one person tells you the sky is blue, the other person says the sky isn't blue. One person says to make content every day, the other person says you don't need to make content every day. And so I wanted to make a page where I could just say, hey, This is what I'm doing in real time to grow, and I'm documenting the whole process. Take it or leave it. That was one of the reasons. Now, Tiago, I know that was a long explanation. There are several other ideas that we have with this page, but is anything that I'm saying, am I going off tangent? Am I aligned with you at all? Feel free to like reel me back in here.
I feel like we are aligned.
Okay.
In the angle or the framing that I gave, like I'm going in the same direction, just giving it a different angle. And again, I don't feel like there's like, or I'm not sure if we're gonna find the perfect answer right now, but
yeah,
I thought about that as well, which is that the reason why we started this page or why we made this last pivot was to finally understand. So you're talking about growing a page. I like to frame it as learning how to build a strong personal brand, which is what you preface this conversation, right?
Yes.
So how to do that while sharing it as well, right? Yes. At the same time. So
basically learning in public. I feel like for me, and chat, let me know if Tiago and I, if we're alone on this thought process or if you guys would agree with this. But for me, I have found the most value, and this is coming from me. Like I've spent, how much have we spent, Tiago? Probably like $30,000 on different coaches in the past couple of years. And those coaches, I mean, for me personally, I have found the most value from a coach who's just a couple steps ahead of me than someone like Hermosi. Like or Gary Vee or whoever. Like if I paid, or Grant Cardone, like if I paid 6 figures to meet with Hermosi, he would tell me advice that like I wouldn't even know what to do with it. He's so far ahead, and he's so far removed from when he actually grew the page. You know, he grew his page, 2022, 2021, 2022, 2023. His advice of him growing like his first 10,000 followers, I mean, he's talking about 3 years in the past. I'd rather like, if it were me and I'm trying to learn from someone, like I'd rather find someone who's actively growing right now to 10,000 followers. I feel like that's way more helpful. And so I wanted to be the solution to this problem that I'm seeing with following, or I guess this lack of clarity on which advice to follow. Yeah. All right, back to you.
Yeah, and then I hear saying I find people at the top give really generic advice, and that is funny because it's true. I mean, not always, but
well, that's the other thing too. Is like when you get to the top, you have such a broad audience to appeal for. It's kind of like Drake, right? Like, why do people hate Drake? I don't even know if I need to describe who Drake is. Everyone knows who Drake is, right? Why do people hate Drake so much? It's because, well, I mean, he has such a wide audience that he has to appeal to all of their different interests, right? And all of their different maybe like levels of awareness. And so a lot of his music, it comes off as very like generic to people. Same thing in like the content world and the business world and like the educational world. Like the people who are at the very tip top, typically, like especially like a Gary Vee, like, and by no means like I'm not bashing on any of these guys. Gary Vee's great, Hermosi's great. Like we've learned a ton from them. But if you gave me money today, or if you gave me an option between who would you find more value following, Gary Vee or someone who's like just a few steps ahead of me, I would choose the second person all day. Because if I go and spend my money with Gary Vee, I mean, he's just going to tell me like, just post more, or you know, he's going to tell me like very not surface level advice, but he's not going to be able to get really tactical with me. That's someone who's like in the trenches would, which is what I need as a beginner. I need all the tactics and principles. Anyways, Tiago, sorry, I'm going to try to.
No, we can start wording it. And we can start at least like dumping the ideas, and then we can like run it by Claude and see how we can be more clear with it.
Something like that. I mean, whatever. I want to be a solution to the lack of clarity people feel. Basically, I mean, especially for me when I was like, when I was, whatever, 8 years ago, like when I was really trying to figure out what to do with content or my life or whatever, like you have so many opinions out there. It's like I don't know which advice to follow, and I used to freak myself out because I'm like the more I listen to people, the more confused I'm getting. So, anyways, back
I
to
would
you,
only
Tiago.
no, I would only add to that, like the advice on what I would say on building strong personal brands, and I feel like that looks good.
Cool.
We can later, I mean, at some point, I mean, it would go into,
There are many other outcomes though. Like I would love
yeah,
to.
but also like
Yeah.
defining what is strong personal brand. I feel like it goes in a different place, but
Okay.
how we define it is what we discussed today. The difference between growing a following and yeah, and an actual cult like following, basically.
I also, Tiago, I don't know if this is worth mentioning because again, we're talking about two different outcomes here. One
Yeah.
thing, there are multiple. One of the other reasons is that again, we talk about all the time. I believe that you don't need to be like a industry expert in order to share valuable, knowledge, experience, etc. Like, here's the other thing that I was telling you today, and I'd love to. Again, I know that these are like I'm about to give you a couple different mission statements here, but these are all things I think about on a daily basis. I would imagine everyone here has not accomplished something that would make them an industry expert, but I would imagine everyone here has super valuable experiences, expertise, knowledge throughout the years, right? Like none of us, I don't think any of us here are multimillionaire, like we've helped change, drastically transformed an industry, right? But like, does that mean that our opinions or our knowledge or our skill sets are not valuable? And I think that there's a lot of talk online of people saying like you need to do epic shit, which I totally get before you can make content. But I also wanted to make this page to say like I think being experienced and not an expert still is worth making content for an audience, or even just us being a student, like I want to also encourage other people to maybe learn in public or share some of their experience, but maybe in a way that's not so directive to say you need to do this or you shouldn't do this, but more so here's what I've done. So again, I know that was a long tangent. I don't know if that's something that we want to add here. Some thoughts there, or if we want to come back
See,
to that.
yeah, I do have two ideas that again we can then run by Claude, but you can say hearing advice online on building strong personal brands, whether you're an expert or not. We could simplify it like that or whatever, and then the other thing that we should improve from it is which is another like principle that we have, which is that there is no one single winning formula. Like there are options always, and it depends on where you're gonna wanna go. So I don't plan to make it too wordy, but maybe we need to reframe the I want to be a solution.
Mm-hmm. I think right now I'm just gonna we'll free write and then maybe we refine it later. What do you think?
Yeah.
Just for the sake of time.
Yeah, I also want to encourage others to make the
Cool.
journey.
What's up, Jack?
Yeah.
While Tiago's reviewing this, Naeem, I'm doing the challenge. Dana says, "Are you doing the Jesse Jean Yap challenge?" I am currently not doing it. I'm definitely not opposed to doing it. Love Jessie Jean; she's great. I have been experimenting on trial reels with Yap videos that are more unscripted, unfiltered. I am doing like my own personal challenge with that. Just seeing if I can get better at talking off the cuff, kind of like what I do on these lives, except way more condensed. But yeah, I mean, are you guys participating in it, Naeem and Dana? How is it going so far? Let me know. How has your experience been in the Jessie Jean world? Have you guys found a lot of value from that? I I have a PhD in wanting to create content that's educational, useful, and fun. Love it. Love it. Awesome. Jack, thanks for joining. As you just joined in, I'll just give you some quick context. We are learning about creating a strong personal brand. So we're going through this exercise here. I'm going to do round 2. It's day 1. Nice. Awesome. Cool. All right, Tiago, back to you.
Yeah, I'm sending it to just the part to ChatGPT because I want to add the.
I imagine we should probably just have one desired outcome because that'll help us with our messaging, but I'm just free writing all of our thoughts because there are multiple, like when I envision the end goal of our page, there are multiple things that come to mind, you know?
Yeah, no, the only thing that I like, and again, we'll refine it later, but I like to add, I want to be solution, when hearing advice, and we can add something like by presenting different options on how to do it.
Something like that.
Yeah, we will get to and again, in a future live, we will show the refined version, but yeah, that'll be all the ideas into it.
Okay.
So then to achieve that outcome, what do you need to be known for? And
okay.
Yeah, so let me know what you think, and then I'll give you my idea.
Is there anything else that you had in mind for this first one before we go to the next question? Or we
just need to
just refine it.
Yeah, I feel like it. Yeah, I feel like that's.
To achieve that outcome, what do you need to be known for? I mean, I personally would like to be known as, like how Jun Yu calls it, a journey creator. I'd like for people to, anyone that lands on our page, to understand that we are students first, and that we're not giving advice from the frame of a quote unquote expert or a guru, right? We are actually learning in public. To achieve that outcome, what do you need to be known for? Yeah, so it would be like, what do you need? I mean, yeah, that's kind of my overall thoughts there, is almost like a public student where people say like, okay, this guy is the guy who's on the journey to get there, and the value that I get from following him is that I get to see him try things that people say online, or him get to test different methods, and I can see in real time if it works or it doesn't. I want to be basically like the guinea pig for a wider audience. Does that answer the question?
I would say that, and then I will add something like probably that goes live every day.
Yeah, exactly. Public guinea pig, student, live documenter. I mean, I don't know what you call it. Live documenter. Or goes live every day to document the journey to become an expert. Something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like that's good.
Good. Okay.
So
and let me just do a pulse check for the chat. Sorry, Tiago. Chat, is this exercise that Tiago and I are doing, is this helpful at all for you guys? Is this boring? Do we need to switch up anything that we're doing? This was like the main thing that I definitely wanted to hit on today. Can you see you going through this exercise for yourself for your page? Because this is basically what we're doing, is we're doing like a long-term vision of our page. We're basically reverse engineering, like, what do we want to be known for in the situation where our page is very big, right? Let's say a lot of people know us. Well, a lot of people can know us for many reasons. They can know us for being gurus or scummy, or they can know us for being great experts. They can know us for being students. They can know us for being X, Y, and Z. So we're trying to reverse engineer the goal and then that will determine what content we post and how we position our messaging. Let me know if this is all clear or valuable to you guys. Curious on your feedback. All right, Tiago, before we go back to question 3, 1J says, I think Caleb talks about this in one of his podcasts. He mentioned growth not as an expert, but as a student. You spoke about 2 types of creators. Yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep.
And we'll get to that in module. I mean, this is 1 in module 3 or 4, I think.
Cool.
Yeah.
I think the disconnect is how to apply this to the page. Yeah. So good question, Dana. Right now we're going to go through this exercise. I think it's going to make more sense for us, as I say us as like the collective and the live. I think it'll make more sense as we get further down the questioning. But most importantly, how this, like if you want the one-to-one translation, how this applies just even with these first couple questions is how I word certain things on camera. So if I want to be known, hopefully this is making sense. If I want to be known as a public student, right? Let's say I want to be known as a guy who is on the journey to become an expert, and I don't want to be known as a guru, right? I want to be known as someone who's authentic, who's trying to figure it out, blah blah blah. If that's what I want to be known for, then the next video that I post, I probably shouldn't start by saying do this to do, to grow your page, or I shouldn't say don't do this to do X, Y, and Z, right? This is something that I've been learning even from like my recent viral video with the star method. When I look at that video, the way that I framed how I talked, I basically said like, if you think that yapping videos are unstructured, you're mistaken. This is what all the big creators do, blah, blah, blah. I was also kind of yelling to the camera. It comes off when I watch it now, that frame is almost like preachy. I'm basically telling people, it almost comes off like this is the only way to do it. And if I want to be known long term as, again, this public student, someone who's not an expert, someone who's authentically trying to figure it out, then I probably shouldn't make videos where I'm yelling at the camera, telling people you shouldn't do this, you should do this. Okay, does that make sense? I should probably, and Tiago's going to have way more value to give to that in terms of an answer to that question, but my first thoughts are on how I message the words that I say. If I want to be known as a student, someone who's documenting the journey, then that means, and you can look at some of my recent videos, you might notice that a lot of the ways that I'm wording my sentences start with, here's what I'm doing. This is what I currently did. This is what I just did. This is what I'm currently doing. This is what I'm trying to learn how to do, right? The more I can signal that I am, just figuring it out, I think that's going to force people in the future to know me as what I want them to know me as. Does that make sense? Tiago, is there anything else that I'm missing there? Is that kind of how you would answer that question?
No, I feel like our own example was the best way to approach it, because that's exactly what was happening with us, and the main reason why we're doing this exercise. But it is true that for some other people, maybe even for Dana here, is that some people may intuitively understand this.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's not the case for us. So that's why.
Yeah, I didn't.
Here.
Yeah, I mean, I made that video, right? And this is kind of something that it's a skill that I've been trying to learn, is that like I've made plenty of viral videos in my past, but I've never really stopped to think like, what is the overall message, or like how are people actually interpreting this video? Because I know how I'm interpreting it, but based on how I say things, people interpret it differently. For example, if I told you guys right now in this live that we're going to go and steal a viral video, we're going to copy the transcript, we're going to copy it word by word, and then I'm going to post it or whatever, you guys would interpret that as me basically telling you to do this. And so that's something this is why we're doing this exercise, is because Tiago and I are learning, okay, if I make this type of content, it will do very well in terms of views and follows. But what are those people thinking of me when they follow? And I want them to think of me a certain way. Okay, so this is like a super important exercise that we're going through here. Okay, Dana says, but that's probably because I'm wading through how to take knowledge and apply it. Yeah. So again, the main thing to take away here is we are going through this exercise, and I am going to think about this every time that I am wording or creating a script for me to say something. If I want to be known as a student long term, I need to say words such as "this is what I'm currently doing" and not "this is what you need to do." Yes, I like that. Also, even though I've got all this education behind me, I always feel like I'm learning. It's the growth mindset. Really, I love learning. That's why I want to try content creation. Love it. Love it. Totally agree. All right, Tiago, back to you. We're on question 3.
Yeah. So, what actions do you need to take consistently to become known for that? I mean, obviously, I'm just gonna say going live, right? Now, other things we can do. I don't know.
Well, I think what I just said answers that question too. Is like, if I want to be known long term as someone who is a student, it's funny. I just gave kind of like Dana this answer, and now this is the next question. If I want to be known as someone who's not an expert, then I need to make sure that every single thing that I say in the videos is not from a standpoint of me giving directions, but more so me just documenting. So, like, avoid saying words such as "do this" or "don't do this," right? Which, if you look at my page, you'll see I have some videos that have done well, but I tell people what to do, right? So keep making content in first person POV, talking only about what I've done, am doing, or am learning. Right, Tiago? Is this a good sufficient answer to this question? Is there anything else that I'm missing here?
Yeah, I feel like one last thing, and again, we don't need to go back to this, but what do you need to be known for? And I'm not sure if we should add this at some point, but we also want to teach all of our learnings in a entertaining way, which is going to be the storytelling series format. Not saying we should change everything or add that right now, but that could be something that later, when we ask what actions do you need to take consistently, is to come up with series ideas, to keep either testing, right, sharing, or whatever. But
like a fresh approach to educational content. That's kind of a good summary.
Yeah, you just put it right. Like, I'm not sure if you put it right in the middle, of a sentence.
Yeah. So for this one, it's like, what do you want to be known for? Public guinea pig student. Oh.
Yeah, that's what
goes live. Fresh approach. Cool. Make.
All right.
Story.
Yeah, that. There you go.
Cool. Okay.
All right. So what do you need to learn in order to take those actions? I feel like one of the things that I thought about was, I'm not sure if you learned, but mastering storytelling. That was one of them. And then as well, I'm not sure if we want to use the word messaging for, because it's kind of like what we're doing right now. Because again, we want to teach people how to build a strong personal brand. So those two are the main ones. And just trying to think if we should do something else.
Storytelling, messaging.
Maybe we could add personal branding, because that's exactly what we're trying to learn and teach.
What about world building?
Yep.
Right? We need to create a world for people to feel like they are a part of.
Maybe grand narratives as well.
Yep, grand narratives. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that makes more sense.
Okay. And then, I mean, it sounds silly. I'm trying to think, like, I guess this is part of storytelling. I was gonna say like authenticity. It sounds silly because it's like, how do you have to like, you don't,
You
most
don't
people,
learn it.
yeah, it's like, how do you learn how to be authentic? But it is, I do think that there's something there to learn. Like when you look at Jessie Jean, she is brilliant with her content. She's able to like, oh, that's what it is. We could just, instead of authenticity, she talks a lot about like just basic communication
I was
or
gonna, yeah,
psychology.
yes, yep, yep. Because that's basically Hormozzi's central premise.
Yeah,
He takes really complex concepts and creates simpler frameworks. So,
he defines a lot of terms, then operationalizes them. Yeah,
hmm I like that. Yep.
cool. All right.
I feel like this is good. Yeah.
Naya, Naya, 1J, Dana. Is this starting to make a little bit more sense? Obviously, we're just. What's up, Rich? How's it going? What's up, Salvador? We are currently working on a personal branding exercise. I think as we get through this, again, we're only through like 4 questions. It'll probably make a little bit more sense to you, Dana. But again, this is so far. This first part is very, very focused on how we word things when we talk, how we communicate certain ideas, which I definitely need to learn from. All right, Tiago, back to you. Can you actually just give me 1 second, guys?
Yep.
I'll be right back. Hold on. Give me 1 second, chat. You guys are gonna look at my. My old chair, actually. Maybe not. Okay, I'll be right back, guys.
All right. So going back here, I wanted to mention a comment that I see from, and I hope I'm saying this right, Niave. He said, just thinking, though, that we will probably evolve over time, so our page will inevitably need to evolve too. And that's actually funny. I was reading that and I wanted to say that we will get there in a few modules because Caleb talks about that as well. Like he understands that people can change their minds. And so the idea is that you have like a list of things that you talk about that it isn't like set in stone. And he even mentioned something very funny, which is that there are also like some stances you can take on some topics. And he says that when the topic is I'm not sure if controversial, but when you are taking a contrarian stance, that you are really sure that you want to stick to it, because later changing that point of view in the future is doable, but you're going to face backlash as well. So it's kind of funny because he says that he respects people that does that is able to change their point of view, but he will inevitably face backlash from people, which is a cultural thing, I guess.
All right.
I do.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, Sean. Yeah, I do also respect people that can change their minds, but yeah, it's just how social media works. So.
All right, I'm back. You guys got to see how I really got to get a new chair, dude. This chair is destroyed. All right, Tiago, what am I joining in on?
No, I was just replying to, and again, I'm so sorry, I don't know how to pronounce the name. He was saying something very, like very smart. He said that since we evolve, that our pages evolve as well, because we can think one way, and in the future change our minds about something. Mm-hmm. And Caleb talks about it, and he says that he respects people that does that, and he is like that he supports creators that do that, but he just says that you will inevitably face backlash when you do that, especially when you're taking contrarian takes.
Sure. Okay. All right.
So, yeah, going to the core values, I'm not so sure about us. I added transparency. I feel like we can be a little bit more like not too broad. Like if I talk about Jessie Jean,
Mm-hmm.
she is transparent, but I feel like maybe we could, or that she could say something like, I don't know, like financial transparency, right? Because she talks about her own numbers. In our case, the transparency comes from from an operational standpoint. Like we are going to share everything that we learn and how we do things.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure if just the word transparency or if we can,
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
yeah.
Yeah, operational, transparent. Yeah, it's fine for now. Um,
But yeah, I feel like
is
that's
this
one.
where authenticity would be added, or is that just pretty much transparency here?
So authenticity in one like how would you describe it? Like depend like
I know
regarding
it's such a good question. It's such a buzzword too.
yeah.
Okay, when we think about what are we, what are our non-negotiables? Like, how do we approach every piece of content, or especially with these lives? We want to be overly transparent because nobody, to our knowledge, shows all of the steps of the content production process, as well as the actual in real time process of building a brand. So we want to be, like you said, operationally transparent. Inside the content, we also want to be transparent personally. That's why I'm saying, like, is this where we should separate? Like, operationally transparent, we want to share everything behind the scenes on like how to make good content, how to build a brand, and also personally transparent on feelings, thoughts, emotions. I guess feelings and emotions, same thing, but feelings and thoughts,
I'm not sure if
opinions.
personal
Yeah.
could be a value, or I'm not sure if it would fit as one.
Okay. Let's add it for now.
Not sure.
What else? We'll add it for now, and we can remove it if it's
Okay.
the same thing. What else? What else did you have in mind?
And the other thing that I had in mind, I had one more. I forgot. But the other thing that I wanted to mention is that I'm not sure if again
Oh,
if it's a good one, but something like humbleness.
yeah. I was thinking the same thing. Honesty, right?
Oh,
Like,
open-mindedness. Yeah, that could be it. Yeah,
oh,
as
that's
well.
true too. Okay. Open. I don't. I will just put that. I mean, unless if someone has a better word for it, we'll add it. If I'm thinking about like some of the core themes that I want to share with our content, it's just like you said, open-mindedness. Like I really am passionate about this lack of nuance on social media and how everyone hears things in black and white, but all
Right.
the truth is almost always in the gray zone. So like, I don't know how that stacks up with these non-negotiable values. Maybe it's the open-mindedness, or like sharing in multiple pieces of content that there are two sides to every debate. Honesty is when I'm telling everyone in the chat here, like, I am not an expert. I don't have everything figured out. I am experienced, but I'm also still learning, and I think that applies with not only just the lives, but also with our content. I feel like honesty is probably a good one here.
Ooh, humility. I like that.
Yeah, humility is a good one. Hey, Veronica. All right. So, we're gonna do 4 here?
Yeah, that's fine. There's no. That's okay.
Am I right or wrong? Okay.
Yeah.
We'll come back to open-mindedness, whatever. Okay. What impact do we want to make with the brand?
Yes, and here these two are related. So one is like, let's say, qualitative. The other one is quantitative. And this is where it gets hard.
Chat, chat. I'm gonna do a pulse check real quick while Tiago and I are doing this. Is everyone still following along? Is everyone still finding value from this? Again, this is not a sexy live where we're looking at content. we're doing some groundwork, thinking long term about a personal brand for us. Not a following, but a personal brand. If everyone's following along, if you guys can just type in the chat 1 if you're finding some value from this. Everything's good. If you guys have questions, please let me know. Dana, Nia, 1J, anyone else? Rich, let me know. Anyways, back to you, Tiago.
Yeah, so since we are the students, I feel like we're kind of, I'm not sure if the word is forced, but it is like we're getting into the educational industry somehow, right? So it's like even though the end goal, right, is to get business from this, the content itself, like the goal of the brand, I feel like it is educational, and having people like give them options, right, on how to build a strong personal brand with clear frameworks, because that's what, I mean, at least what I have in mind, which is what I wish we had, which is some sort of Hormozy, but for personal branding specifically, right?
Yeah.
So what impact do I want to make with this brand is honestly to take branding and personal branding and make it like easily available for people to understand.
Okay, this might sound really wordy, but let me know what you think about this.
Let's see.
Okay, this is like super whatever. It doesn't have to be this like this is one of them, right? There's many things that I want to do with our brand, but this is one of the ideas, is like the ideas of us documenting everything is that by sharing everything and hiding nothing, we can start to basically develop a playbook of like developing trust at scale. Like,
I see.
Hormozy has the operationalized aspects of business. Do X, Y, and Z, make 100 calls a day and do X, whatever, you get this type of result. Caleb Ralston has the overarching theme of optimizing for trust. I think with us, this is just this is one of many ideas here that we can impact, but by us documenting the process, showing that we're not experts, figuring everything out, we start to learn the steps to the playbook, right? Kind of like what I've been learning recently is that there's different levels of content creation. And so maybe, again, if your idea is like we want to become almost like a Hormozy of personal branding, how we could do so is by almost like creating this in real time, step by step, of how to build an actual brand. That's long lasting. So that's kind of one of the ideas here. I'm gonna free write a couple thoughts, and then you let me know what you think. Okay. So one idea is that one, systematizing trust at scale, right? Because everyone's here, everyone's along with the journey. Like we're all gonna figure out the step by steps together. Another one is I would love to, for me personally, maybe this is egotistical, I would love to provide a solution to the trust bubble. That's what I'm calling it, right? By inspiring more journey creators to give advice or to document their learnings instead of share. Me personally, and let me know, chat, this is where I'm going to ask you guys. And then Tiago, if I'm going off base, feel free to ring me back in. Everyone in the chat, let me know, are you guys sick and tired of hearing people say that you need to do this or you shouldn't do this? For example, like maybe anyone here in the chat has heard recently of like, you must become the niche or you must not become the niche. Or maybe you guys have heard people say, you need to post every single day to grow. And some people say you don't need to post every single day to grow. Or maybe you guys have heard someone say you need to be original to grow. and someone says you don't need to be original because you won't get views, you need to steal like an artist. Have you guys heard any of these debates when it comes to content creation? And if you have these opposing viewpoints stressed you out, made you more confused, leave you almost worse off than when you started? If anything that I'm saying is resonating with you, then this is where I'm going here with this answer for you, Tiago, is it would be nice to be able to provide a different solution, because I'm tired of everyone giving advice. And I imagine a lot of people are also tired of hearing people give all of this advice. And with us being students and sharing a different perspective, saying, here's what I'm doing, it takes away the notion of giving directives and saying to people like, do this or don't do this or else you'll fail, and more so allowing people to choose if they want to take the advice or not. Hopefully that's making sense, guys. Maybe I'm just yapping at this point, but Tiago, what do you think of that? Do you think that this could play a hand here?
Yeah, I mean, we go back to the first part of the conversation, and I was just thinking that this is getting like too meta, which we're getting to a point where we are polarization. So while everyone is polarizing, we're saying don't polarize, right? So, because that's what I'm realizing that where we're getting with this. But no, I agree with what you said. I feel like that's good. We can refine it later. So
I think it would be really dope if, like, a year from now, wherever we're at. What's up, Mace? Good to see you, man. I haven't seen you in a minute. We are going through a super unsexy playbook on building a brand. Not developed by us, but from people much smarter than us. So if you're interested in long-term vision setting of a personal brand, then that's what we're doing. Going back to what you were saying, Tiago, or what we were just saying here, when I think about long-term, like our page, we have a ton of people checking us out. It would be dope to influence people, similar to like today's discussion when I was talking with Joe and his group, where everyone was like, dude, you guys have inspired us to, and for everyone that's listening to what I'm saying, I was talking to a community. One of my buddies who found us through one of my content reached out to me and he said, hey, I'd love for you to speak in front of my community of like wedding planners. So I spoke with them today at noon, and they were telling me like, dude, you've inspired all of us to start going on live. And I was like, that's sick. That's great. Like, with the quote unquote small amount of people that have seen me so far, like I'm inspiring people to go live. I would love it, as this page grows, to inspire more people to reframe how they think about giving advice, and instead just talking and documenting from their experiences. I think that would be really dope, because I'm tired of seeing people telling me what to do or what not to do. So anyways, back to you, Tiago.
Yeah. Yeah, no, going next, how do I measure success beyond money? We can maybe skip this for now.
I mean, I would say today was a really good highlight for me when I was talking to the group, and everyone was like, dude, we've all been going live because of you. That was great.
I was thinking like, what if success, we measure it by making live streaming in the business industry, like
that's the other thing too. Like, when I think about it long term, that's why I'm saying this could be a really long discussion, because it would be really cool to how do I say this? Influence more people in the business space to live stream, because we're not seeing that. We're only seeing live streams in the entertainment space. So that would be cool too. But anyways, I don't know how we'll measure that, so we can maybe skip it.
Yeah, I mean, you could, I mean, if we're just brainstorming, and again, we are going to revisit this a million times, you could just say something like, yeah.
something like that. I don't know. Anything else?
Yeah, I was just thinking about something else, but I feel like, yeah.
Hey, bro, glad to see you're still giving gems on live. I appreciate it, Mace. Yeah. Yep, I'm. Thanks, 1J. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. This is what I do every single day, man. Going to. I don't even know when we'll ever stop doing this. These lives are so fun, man. So, yeah. Thanks for joining. Mace is one of the OGs. I think Mace was like in the first ever live stream. So glad to see you back. How's everything been, man? What's going on? And I think you're in Canada right now, right? In Toronto? All right, Tiago.
I'm thinking whether because I'm not sure if we need like actual numbers, but I'm thinking what if also decreasing the level of polarization could be. I mean, we're never going to win that game. I mean, and I'm 100% on that one, but but it could
maybe popularizing. I don't even know if that's a word, but popularizing the idea of nuance. Or the idea of critical thinking.
I'm on board with that.
I'm taking this, dude. I'm taking it to the bank right here. That'd be really cool. To influence people to actually think critically about advice online. That would be way better than money. Good, bro. Yeah, in Montreal, focusing mainly on the business at the moment, but the content will restart very soon. Awesome to hear it, man. Awesome to hear it. How's the business going? How are you normally getting clients? Because I know you were crushing on the content for a while. So glad to hear things are going well, man. All right, back to you, Tiago.
So now we have step 2, and this is what 1J was mentioning at the beginning of the conversation. So the difference between us either being an expert or a student. Earlier today, you and I were discussing the idea of being kind of a hybrid, because again, I have never like reached the 1 million view count, and you have like several times, but still we are not at the level of, again, like you said, Caleb and all of the industry leaders,
sure,
right? If we're calling that. So even though we are students for or in certain topics, it doesn't mean that we don't have some expertise in some other topics. That's how I'm seeing it. And that's how we can use a mix of the frameworks from module 2. And if you scroll down, because 2.1 is deciding on one of the or the other, I picked student because that's the main one because of the framing that our page is going to have. But that doesn't mean that 2.2 credibility bank that you can't write it down, right? So let's start doing that one, which we've done it with the YouTube description. So where it says things I've built or achieved, you can start writing them down. So
should I just take the let me just take the YouTube description just to make it easier?
Yeah, of course.
All right, hold on.
Because I feel like even hosting a podcast is going to be considered an achievement.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then mistakes I made, I feel like you have a few there too.
Definitely a ton of mistakes. Chat, if you haven't, I think most everyone has, but if you haven't, all of these live streams, all the replays are available on YouTube. So if you have not found my YouTube, let me know, send me something in the chat or send me a comment and I'll send over the replays. If you guys ever want to watch, I mean, dude, more power to you if you want to rewatch this one. I know this one's kind of a doozy to get through, but with the lives where we're talking with folks about their content, if you guys ever want to rewatch that, or if you guys want us to help you with your content and you want to watch the replay after, it's going to be on my YouTube. now a YouTuber with 13 subscribers, folks. So make way because I'm pretty popular on YouTube here. 13 subscribers. All right, let's take this and go here. Oh boy.
And for everyone else in the chat, and if you want the workbook, the one thing that I'm going to ask is if you can please send the direct message to Sean so we can find you, all of you, easily and send you the link.
All right, Dana, thanks for joining. Yes, we will have a blast with Gma. Awesome. Cool. Mace the Barber. I have about 11 barbers at the moment. So through our paid ads, and I coach them on how to post properly on social media. Nice. Love it, man. Super, super cool. And how does the program work? So you have them, and I coach them. Do you have them in school maybe, and you meet with them like once a week on a group call? That's awesome, man. All right, back to you, Mr. Tiago.
Back to you. I mean, oh, you have it right there. Yeah, we will probably want to list them. So I feel like grown 4 accounts to 100,000 followers could be an achievement of its own.
Mm-hmm.
So you can put it in there so we don't list it like 4 times.
Okay.
I would add the 10 million view video as a bullet as well.
Oops.
Yeah, that's another one, right?
Oh. Helped multiple startups.
Yeah.
Okay. What else? What am I missing? And we'll probably want to hop off here because we're going to be at 4:20. So
Yeah.
we'll let this be the next one. 13 balling. Remember when it was like 5? Haha. 2. Yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Yeah, we're the new kids on the block, 1J. I don't know what to tell you, man, but next week we might even be at 15 subscribers, and that's when we're gonna be Hollywood for you.
So I feel like you can remove the rest, I think. I think it's more of the same.
Oh yeah, right here. Street interviews blown up. Whatever. All right.
So wait, and that's the mistake. So if you can remove the 21, 22, and whatever that is, yeah.
Yep.
And now the mistakes, at that point, I feel like you could add build a following, not a brand, I guess.
Built a following, not a brand, 4 times. Yeah, 4 times. Oh, jeez, man. Okay.
I'm not sure what else you want to add in here. I mean, you work with some realtors, I think. So I'm not sure what happened with it.
Businesses.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll just put those for now. We'll come back to it. Okay. Should we end it here? Because we're at 4:20. I need to get some content put out too.
Yeah, we can go through the 2.3 because it's kind of done real quick. So
Okay.
here's, because this is, I just want to close with this because it is what Nieve said earlier. And this is a kind of I made some adjustments to this as well because I didn't like the way that so Caleb, I don't think that he talks about it because Caleb, by the way, his 5 hour course is also focused on YouTube, right? So the interest bank, those are things that as a student you want to research and learn about, and those are things that you want to talk about, right?
Okay.
But the only problem with that is that when I started to think about it from like the short form perspective, like how am I going to do short form content on Instagram with this?
Mm-hmm.
I realized that this works for when you're doing like series or bottom of funnel type of content,
Mm-hmm.
like the video that you have on your page that is the one that says watch this, and then you're explaining how to actually not that one, that's like the worst example. But if you do like a series about how to I didn't add it in there, maybe we should add it as another bullet, which is like getting clients from your personal brand. So the series about I can't charge, so I'm helping people for free, that would, you can do that because it's a series, right? But when you're doing top of funnel content, it's really hard to touch on these points because maybe Instagram releases a new feature and you want to talk about it, right? But that's not going to be in your interest bank. Like you're not really interested in learning about the platform, right?
Well,
So
then
that's why
but then
I made.
the question is, should we revise the core topics then so that we can make top of funnel about some of these interests? What do you think?
So it's
Well,
it's
but
kind of
because you bring up a good point though, because we are students, everything's going to be more middle of funnel almost. Where it's like, here's what we're currently doing. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Anyways, continue.
But the thing is that let's say that when as we're working with a series, we I don't know, we realize that there's a way to either productize it or some cool step-by-step formula that we want to share. We can share it with the proven framework that we have, the watch this, which is going to bring in a ton of attention, but it's not going to fall into any of these interests. So those interests, I think of them as more for long form type of content and for middle slash bottom of funnel type of content for short form.
Okay.
So then you have the top of our funnel content pillars, right? Which are the ones that we already discussed like some time ago, which is going to be way simpler because of course the thing is that the mission of our brand is to learn about really advanced stuff, right? And making short form or making top of funnel content off of those, it's going to be hard to do, right? With top of funnel, just because top of funnel you don't have that much time to explain those topics. That's why Caleb like struggles, right, with his short form, I think.
Yeah.
So
All right.
that's my point of view on that.
You're saying because you're saying because of the difficulty of making top of funnel about his core topics, or just because
right,
or just because of the lack of top of funnel that he has.
Yeah, because I mean, just like you said earlier, or like we've been discussing, like Caleb is saying this and that on short form, and then I watched the 5 hour course, and it's like, okay, it's not really like that. It's more nuanced. But that's the thing. When you add nuance, you can't do that in 60 seconds, right?
Yeah.
So, and if you do that in 60 seconds, you're not going to be talking to people at the top of the funnel.
Yeah, 1J says, yeah, Caleb's workbook is designed or is optimized for deep trust, bottom of funnel, as his course talks about creating deep trust, not top of funnel. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
totally.
So that's why I don't like going 100% on either of those. I feel like again, like we discussed, I feel like that could be balance. Like that could be a core value. Balance, I think,
Sure.
is like we discussed. You need both. You need the reach. You need the conversions. You can't do one or the other.
Cool. Let's stop here. We got to 2.4. We have a lot more to go, but I think we made good progress. We've had anyone else in the chat that's here. Any other questions that we have before we hop off? I see that Danielle is in the chat. Danielle, thanks for joining this live. Just for context for everyone else, Danielle was in the group discussion earlier today at noon with Joe from Do Better Weddings. Danielle had a ton of questions, so thanks for asking. And thanks a million. Yeah, of course. Absolutely. Hopefully you guys found some value from this. Any other questions that you guys have, let me know before we'll close the chat for today. And just so you guys know too, Veronica and I are going to be gone for the next couple days. We're going to my grandma's. Veronica's Sailor Neptune, by the way. So we will be not live streaming for the next, let's see, 2 days. And then I'll be back to you guys on Monday. So happy to answer any questions before we go. 1J,
Yeah.
1J usually never has questions because he knows everything. He's the freaking expert.
He's teaching us.
Yeah, he's teaching us. Yeah. So really, this is aimed for Danielle. Yeah, Danielle. If you have any other questions, if you learned anything, if you have any thoughts, feedbacks, blah blah blah. By the way, Danielle, what I'm doing by asking you this is what I'd recommend you do when you do your lives. Just try to engage with the chat. What Joe said is 100% true. When you call someone out by their name, like, what's up, Patrick? I see you just joined the chat. Thanks for joining, man. Patrick's been in here a few times. Patrick, you joined towards like the latter end of our stream here. I'm just asking some last questions for the chat. We did a kind of a exercise today about personal branding. So not growing a following, but actual branding, which is a little bit more in depth. And yeah, so now I'm just asking for any wrap-up questions before we hop. Hello, thanks for the awesome discussion this morning. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for... And I'll tell this story too. I was in the middle of... Oh my gosh, man. Middle of work. And then I was talking to you, Tiago, for a little bit. And then I realized I was late to that meeting with Joe and Danielle. So Danielle, thank you for sticking around. I really appreciate that. Got a little sidetracked, but thanks for the engaging discussion. All right. Everyone's good here? I think we're about to hop off.
Yeah, please remember to message Sean if you want the document, and we'll send it to you.
Yeah, if you guys want the copy of the workbook that we worked on today, just send me a DM. We'll send it over to you guys. And anything else, I'm just waiting to see. I know there's a delay, so I'm going to wait to see if there's anything. No, dude. All right, 1J. Danielle, you're good? Any other questions? Anything I can help you with before we hop off? Patrick, anything you want to know? I see Dunga just joined. Is that how you say? Dunga?
We should have probably started with storytelling block today.
That's fine. We'll do it. Oh, I guess we can't do it tomorrow. We'll do it. We'll do it on Monday or something.
All right.
All right, guys. I am closing the stream. Thanks for another great stream. Glad that this was valuable to everyone. We will be coming back on Monday to possibly do more of this exercise. Let me know. Feel free to DM me too if you guys have any suggestions for what you want the next stream to be, because I know we're having some hotline guests coming quickly. Hotline being the people that call in. We're gonna have a couple of those. I totally forgot to connect with Ronan too. So I'll get Ronan maybe next week, and we'll do that. I actually have to hop off for a call, but appreciate the live today. Yeah, thanks Danielle. All right, guys. See you around. And now I'm gonna end the stream for real now.